So, good evening, and we shall proceed. Initially, before I go on with my agenda, I put some... No, not yet.
You forgot.
Can I not do that yet?
No. Remember you said we're going to do all the normal stuff first.
But I thought I was going to do that right at the beginning.
No, you did just before you opened the session for the session.
That's me told off.
No, sorry.
Okay. So, to receive and accept apologies for absence, which we have none. Any declarations of interest? No? Okay. So, with regard to staffing, update on any application for staff positions. I have, a couple of days ago, had some applications which I will be forwarding on. They're just for deputy clerk, but they've sent over to me, so I'll circulate those for everyone to look at. So, to agree to extend the 9th of October to the 9th of October the contract for the current clerk and responsible financial officer. So that's just to agree to keep Mary and Ian until the 9th of October so that we can deal with these staffing applications that we have. Mm-hmm. Is everyone in agreement with that? Can I have a show of hands, please? Thank you.
Jacqui?
Are you all right keeping Mary and Ian until the 9th of November?
Yes, absolutely.
November, sorry, yes. Right, the minutes. As was discussed at previous meeting, the minutes of the 10th of April should have included the following item as being agreed and hereby formalise this. Investigation of council finances. It was unanimously resolved to contract Mr R. Woods to carry out an investigation into the management, including procedures of the council's finances since 2017 to ascertain why and how the council came to be in its current financial position. The cost of that will be £300. Okay, can we all have a show of hands that we are here?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Can I abstain from that, please?
You want to abstain?
Thank you.
Okay. So on to, you've got that, Carol, wants to abstain?
Yeah.
On to agree the minutes of the 10th of July full council meeting. Is there anything?
No.
Anyone? Bob? No, we're all good. Everyone's good.
Hold on.
Yeah, that's right. So there's nothing to change. So if we have a show of hands, that we're happy to agree those, please. Yeah, thank you. Just sign the list a bit. I'll grab my pen.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. There we go. Whilst I am doing that, we also need to agree the minutes of the July 22nd extraordinary full council meeting. Is there any issues with any of those?
No. The only thing is, Mary, on the heading, you originally, the one I put here says the minutes of 10th of July, but the extraordinary meeting stated the 22nd. Yeah? So this one says the 22nd, and I've actually got it right.
Yeah, mine says the 22nd.
Okay.
You must have sent another one through then, because one I've got says the 10th of July.
Right, everyone's got the 22nd, yeah? Apart from obviously Carol. Thank you.
So, sorry, I missed that. What was the answer? Was that the, I didn't catch
Okay,
it. How
sorry,
many
show
people
of hands
said
again
yes?
that we're happy with the 22nd of July, please. So you good, yeah?
Yep.
Cool. So I'm going to actually make it, I'm going to split it, so we have to set it. Right, okay, so the next part is to adjourn the meeting to enable members of the public to ask some questions. Just before we do, I am going to, when we move on, I am going to split things so that we can deal with council business now, and then obviously I know everyone's really interested in the investigation and want to ask questions, so we will deal with that in the second part, if that's okay. So any questions with regards to the agenda with regard to public council business?
Except for the AGAR and except for the inquiry.
Yes.
So anything else but for those two?
Hey Ben.
Hi, I've got a question about the tank pitch east. It's kind of like putting the agenda that it's assumed to be done. It's it's just let's vote on it. Do we not need planning permission for that? I read the report. I couldn't see which councillor wrote the report, 'cause it's not named, but...
I wrote it actually.
Oh, you wrote it.
Yeah.
Do we not need planning permission for the...
Not that I know of, but you don't need one for a sand pit, so I guess you don't need one for a tank pit.
With regard to petanque pitches, on parish council land, dependent upon the size, is then when you have to look into planning permission, and it is at the discretion of the local council that is giving that permission. So that's something that we'll have to look at.
Yep.
So it's not down to Robert to decide?
It would be down to Rother, yes. So we would have to discuss with Rother the size in which we wanted it to be done. There's many different sizes that you can have. So depending on that size, we would need to ascertain from them if we would need the planning permission, because obviously there are things that need to be done. It needs to be dug down. And
yeah, it does, but it isn't a match size. It's a single petanque pitch, which I don't think you need permission for.
exactly. So if we
But
ask the question.
if you're having 3 lanes so that you can have inter-matches, then I think
I don't know much about petanque. I thought I'd look into it, so the question was going to come. So. Okay, so that's something. Thank you, Ben. That we will ask the question and look into.
Yeah, because obviously if it requires planning permission, then who's going to pay for it? Is it going to be the council or the person who's putting up the money for the rest of it?
That will be something that we will look into should we need the planning permission, and once the decision has been decided to go ahead with that.
as you're actually talking about
I
it,
think.
I'm actually putting money in towards the petanque pitch because I've been asked so many times, and I'm quite happy to pay for it as a donation to do it. And a couple of other residents are also to do it, so it'll be covered. It won't cost the parish council anything.
Does that mean that you can't vote for it tonight?
No, I won't.
You take that as an interest at the start.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Ben. If another governance issue, I didn't excuse myself from council. I know.
Thank you. Is there any other questions? No. Okay, so that's the close. Okay, report from County Councillor Redstone, please.
Oh, right, sorry.
Good evening.
Everyone's got my report. Happy to take questions on it. 3 things just to add. Devolution of local government reorganisation is moving along quite quickly. I think it's now public, but there is a draft 116-page document which has to be approved by County Council and will be submitted by the 26th of September to central government. And it's worth looking at because it gives further... it's from 6 councils, county and districts and boroughs in East Sussex, and it talks about local government reorganisation in quite a lot more detail. It's effectively the detailed submission from different councils in Sussex to the government, and it's worthwhile looking at. I will try and summarise in my next month's report. I'll summarise the key parts of that. I've been in multiple meetings on it this week. The second thing to mention is
That they're going to sort the road out. They're going to sort the road out, the road condition, with the bit near Sainsbury's as you come up. And it's
I'll talk back to Queensway Gateway. Queensway Gateway, I mean, it was a shock to us all when they said it was delayed further, but at least in the day, it's 2 lane.
Yeah.
And actually, it's been wonderful getting there. It's even better than it will be once they have traffic lights there, because there's no right turn. So, watch this space. I'm not sure when in September it will open.
Are they going to be resurfacing the road? Because it's terrible.
Yeah, just around that. I'm pretty sure they'll be resurfacing the actual road there, but I don't know for sure. The other thing was Newenden Bridge.
Yeah.
I've spoken several and communicated with the county councillor for Kent, who's now is the new one there, and he says that for budget reasons, the earliest they will start will be next April. It's got to be in Kent's next financial year. Again, I'm pushing him to, and he's got a message to speak to his highways people. Can we not make it 7-day-a-week working, 24-hour working to get it done faster? I suspect the answer will be no for budget reasons.
Of course.
Let's wait and see. And The other thing I was going to mention is there's a consultation started last Friday on what's called the CRMP for the Fire and Rescue Service for East Sussex. So it's the Community Risk Management Plan, and it's basically we have to produce it every 3 to 5 years, and it's what changes, if any, and how we're addressing fire and rescue risk in East Sussex. And it's well worthwhile looking at. Again, I'll summarise it next month. The consultation's, I think, 8 weeks, so we get time for that. But it's worth looking at. The key headlines are there's no substantial changes proposed for at least the next 2 years to things like fire stations and things like that, and staffing. But there is some serious budget challenges we have in the fire and rescue service, which might have some implications further in the future.
Typically.
That's it. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we yet know where the diversions are going to, where the heavy traffic is going to be diverted to once the bridge is closed?
Yes, that will be. It's agreed. That will be agreed between Kent and Sussex Highways. I think it may have been published in the past, but I'll try and find that out. But the standard diversions have to be HGV compliant. So, for example, they can't use
compliant.
So, for example, they can't use Bowling Bridge, which is 18-ton limit, and that's one of the worries. So, the standard diversions are very long distance, like 21 miles or something like that. But locals in cars can probably use some of the smaller lanes and things like that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, is there anyone else? No? Okay, cool. Over to District Councillors. A big centre again, Lee.
Got any questions?
No.
No, I sent an email to Mary back cold calling. I presume she's
seen that, yeah.
We've also had reports in Staple Cross of a person or persons in a white van going around knocking on the doors, telling people their ridge tolls are loose and would they like them to do it. So obviously, as we've got quite an elderly population in our village, it might be handy to let them know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Regarding the PCSOs, they haven't given their report yet, they will give a verbal report.
Okay.
I was asked in Beckley Tuesday night regarding the break-ins in Beckley and at Orms Cross, if they had any information. I've emailed the Chief Inspector and the Sergeant PCOs and awaiting a reply from them. Also, in Beckley, it was a quite bizarre situation. A police car was sitting in the village hall car park. And when the chair asked them what they was doing, they said they was there to take in the views of the residents. So I've also emailed them, because we know in various other villages, police are now coming out, sitting in village car parks, open for questions.
For why?
Don't know. That's why I've emailed the police officer, inspector again, and asked if they are going to do that.
To let
Our
village
village
people know.
coffee mornings last Friday of the month, so it's more like a good idea if they're going to come and sit in the car park for residents to go and chat to them. Be the ideal opportunity for that time to be done. Paul spoke about Queen's Gateway. The one I'm always being asked about is Maplehurst Road. Throwing in the deep end again. I've asked Paul why it's not open as a one-way system, perhaps left turn at the top. It affects a lot of people in Northern Rother, Westfield, Green, Bordeaux, going to the hospital. Paul's waiting to find out an answer for me.
Yeah.
But it makes sense even if they say they don't want. I know the people in Maplehurst Road have got an issue, but then so has the people in Lewisham Avenue and Harrow Road, where all the traffic's now going up.
Yeah.
It does make sense to make it a left turn only at the top, because you then go to Queen's Gateway to the Respecthill to the right. I am pushing for it, and I know some other councillors in Breed and Westfield are trying to push for it as well. So
it's a long way to the hospital otherwise, isn't it? 'Cause you've got to go, it's a long way to the hospital if you're coming from here, because otherwise you have to go down and up Ledsham Road.
Obviously, emergency services, I can understand the people living in Maplehurst Road, but then the road was there, I would say, when a lot of them did move in. So
Yeah,
I must
for
be
sure.
aware of it.
And she can go
So we went on that one.
Yeah, you can, but then imagine the traffic go really quick.
So that's it, unless you've got any questions for us,
No.
or would like us to take anything up on your behalf, we're more than happy to. We'll tell you.
Anybody? No.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so
We close, but we reconvene. Sorry.
to reconvene.
I was just thinking in my loud, so
That's
sorry.
fine to do this bit, right?
Yeah, so we're going to, we're reconvening to do all the business. So you're going to start with, not this,
Okay.
sorry. No. Where does that start?
Yeah, exactly.
Not that bit. So you go to point
Okay, I'm
six.
going to point 6. So, recording of council meetings. So, to agree to record council meetings going forward and therefore acquire an audio recording device at an estimated cost of £70, and that recordings are to be held for 2 years before disposal, so that we will have our own recordings of all meetings and they will be held. Is everyone in
Good
agreement
idea.
with that?
Where is that money, what part is that money coming out of the cost of that,
Mary?
please?
That will come out of the general reserve.
General reserves?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Are we all happy to agree on that?
And presumably it goes to the clerk, so that she can...
It'll be stored on the laptop.
Yeah, it gets stored, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Planning. Applications responded to under delegated authority. 3 High Meadow, Northian, proposed park garage conversion to habitable accommodation and other alterations, including changes to window and door fenestration support. The surgery, Main Street, variation of condition 2, imposed on...
Sorry,
Okay. To allow for alternative internal layout arrangement.
that was a support.
That was a support.
That was supported too, yeah.
Yes.
Applications to consider. Gate Court Farm, Hot Pocket, Station Road, internal alteration and insertion of 2 number roof lights.
Can't see a problem.
Don't have a problem.
Yeah.
So we're all in support.
That's
In support. Hands please. Thank you. 9 Acre Farm, Quickbourne Lane, residential, front gates to replace 5-bar metal gates.
Support.
Yeah.
All in
Happy
support.
with that?
Can we have a show of hands? Thank
More
you.
attractive.
Yeah, quite. Frewin College, introduction of new underground drainage connection for kitchen, new dormer style vent to be concealed to a concealed valley, and replacement of existing ground floor wall vents. Can't see any reason why not.
No.
No.
Everyone in support?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So finances to note and payments to authorise.
Did we agree number 1, High Meadows?
We did it online.
It's it's been done under delegated authority online. Okay, so ABCD, as we know, revised to note the change in the seal earmark due to the expenditure on the play area.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So July payments and receipts are on the agenda. And the bank reconciliation has been done. Yeah.
You have to throw it at me.
Sorry. Okay, Sue. Thank you.
So shall I say that again? So the July receipts and payments have been checked, and
Yeah.
the July bank reconciliation has been checked by Bob. The August payments and receipts are at the end of the agenda, and the 31st of August bank reconciliation has been checked by Bob.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a small adjustment to the
And
items payment because there's £7.90 to be paid
This one.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, so on the adjustment for payments that are at the end of the, are also shown at the end of the agenda, there's a change. Oh yes, because the £7.90 is to be refunded back to Jacqui, and we put down the CIC, sorry. Is that the one?
£7.90. No, the £7.90 is for Castle Water.
Oh, £7.90 is for Councillor
Council
Water.
Water.
Yeah, no,
This
so
has
I
been
say-
changed for Jacqui.
Yeah, so the one, and there's also one that says,
That is the CRC for Jacqui, that's
yes.
there.
Yeah.
yeah. They're in order to make it easier.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
I may ask the clerk, what is a vehicle?
Oh, this is when you take money from one pot, usually because you know you're not going to be using it, or you're going to, so it could be at the end of the year, you're almost at the end of the year, you need to spend some money on something, and so you know you're not going to spend that pot, so you agree to take a sum out of that pot to spend on something else. In this instance, it's more kind of the other way. There is a pot of money that is for the legal budget. It's some £3,000, and instead of taking the financial inquiry, it's sort of the inquiry cost neatly fits into that kind of budget allocation to make it clear. So you're doing that now, saying you're agreeing that the inquiry cost can come out of that budget heading rather than out of reserves.
Thank you.
Just double check and sign them for me, please. They're in order, so it's easy. Thanks, Mary. Well, I bought one anyway. Look at that.
Is that right?
No, so
No,
that one we've got to...
I forgot to look for it before I came out. Jacqui kindly gave it to me.
Okay.
And it's on
Just
the
wanted
agenda
to
to...
know that I've noticed.
Oh, good.
This
Thank
isn't
you.
here.
So direct debit from
Just for that.
Barclays, yeah.
It is, okay, I managed to say because the rest are here.
Let me just ask.
There's normally a copy in there.
Should I think for this one?
No, we don't get that.
No.
You don't get one apparently.
Yeah, it's central at the.
You can write. Doesn't come up. No, if you like.
No receipt, I guess.
We don't receive one apparently.
You've got to set the schedule at the beginning.
You just get a schedule at the beginning.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
And the other one's more direct debits.
So I'm going to give those to you as well, please. Okay. So, are you all right signing those ones as well, please? So,
Yeah.
thank you.
But those ones I've just looked at.
It's pretty much the same, but it's...
Next to your squiggle.
Yeah, it's fine, doesn't matter. Whatever you want. So, right, the agreement of items for payment at the end of agenda done. So the transfer of funds. In order to comply with the external auditor's final report for 23-24 to agree to transfer 50,000 from the co-op to Barclays to comply with the except for matter item 2. Are we all happy for that to happen?
Yep.
Yeah. Jacqui, you right with that? Yes. Okay, and then the variant to agree to veer 300 from the legal budget to pay for the financial inquiry report September 2025, reducing the legal budget to 2,700. Is everyone in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Bruce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout of hands, yeah. Jacqui, you good with that, yeah?
Yes.
I think I saw caught a yes.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I didn't see that. Website and email storage with NetWise. So councillor emails have been exceeding storage limits, sorry about that, and NetWise has increased the capacity temporarily. To agree to increase the storage level, so it will cost an additional £110 plus VAT, so it's currently £396 including VAT, and it does fall within our budget. Is everyone happy to extend that
That's
storage?
extra year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is there a way of being able to, if you deleted a lot of the old, would that help?
Some people don't want to delete all of the others, some people want to keep those. Is everyone happy
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
extend
Yeah.
it? Yeah. Perfect, thank you. And then, so financial summary to 31st of August 2025. Cash across all accounts stood at 356,841 and 89 pence. Earmarked reserves, including minimum general reserve, were minus £245,297 and 54 pence. Budgeted receipts outstanding were £8,987 and 91 pence. Budgeted expenditure outstanding minus £124,568 and 40 pence. Unbudgeted payments outstanding minus 15,157 and 80 pence, and outstanding 24 to 25 payments minus 2,854.79. Balance impact on general reserve is minus £22,048 and 73 pence. General reserve 42,000 less 22,000 and 48 pounds and 73 pence.
Oh yeah, sorry.
73 pence is 19,951 pounds and 27 pence, with a VAT to recover 14,699 pounds and 79 pence. So after allowing for the 34,578 pounds and 13 pence transfer from Co-op Bank to Barclays, total receipts for July and August were £71,185 and 51 pence, and the payments were £81,844 and 68 pence. Receipts were mostly due to 67,000 precept instalment in August, the playground upgrade of 66,819, including VAT, made up at 82% of payments. This payment is to be funded from Cllr reserves, and the net cost of £55,682 and 75 pence reduces this reserve to £58,642. Yeah?
The last page.
So, parish matters, the last page. So if we can go on to the last page, which is the stable wall fence. So the fence on top of the stable has fallen and needs repairing. To agree to acquire supplies for repair from Dewson's, costing £86.50 plus VAT, funded by the St Francis Field maintenance budgets. Are we all happy with that and in agreement
Do we get
with
the VAT back again then?
Yes.
everyone happy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Wayleave for St Francis Field to consider whether to agree to take a one-time payment from BT for £315 or an annual payment of £21. When you say annual payment, annually forever amen, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, so obviously if for £315 on a one-off payment equates to 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
and after the 15 years obviously there's no more money,
Mm-hmm.
or do you wait and think that for future years down there that money will still be coming in?
It's £21.
Yeah, but
It's a risk, isn't it? What do you do? What do you take? Do you think that maybe it could still be there in 20 years' time, or we're still getting the 20 quid?
there you go.
If this is BT,
Mm.
I would have thought in 15 years' time the chances of people still using cable, overhead cable, would be fairly remote.
So that's a point I suppose to take on board, isn't it? I suppose.
Yes, to take the 315 would be better.
don't know. Chicken egg, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't, personally, I don't know is my answer.
No, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Does Ian have an idea? Yeah? Do you have an idea?
Of
Taking the 315 or the 21?
No, or yes.
I mean, it's a risk, isn't it? It's a gamble,
Yeah.
315 quid.
I mean, it's 315.
It's 315 quid.
It's £315.
So essentially, yeah, well, like I say, it might not still be there in 15 years' time.
We'd noticed £315, but
That's
we
what I'm
wouldn't
saying.
notice £21
Quite.
a year.
So take the
I would
315.
take the 315, but
Okay, all in favour of taking the 315?
Could we just maybe be minuted that it was a bit of a...
Yeah, it was a question. It was questionable. We
It
weren't
was,
sure.
it wasn't, you know, straight, like agreed straight. We was,
It wasn't cut and dry.
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so on to the cemetery. Councillors Biggs, Councillors Harding, Councillor Sargent and Councillor Schlesinger to agree an administration fee for dealing with changing the ownership of a grave. Proposal of £60.
where is this grade, isn't it?
No, this is like a general fee every time. Any time anyone comes in and has to ask for the ownership to be changed, you are setting a fee. Just like you set a fee for every time someone comes and says they want a full burial, you set that fee, or they're
I didn't
burying
realise how
out-
much work it took actually. I don't even know why I didn't think about it. I just thought it was like, oh yeah, it's all right. Sign a bit of paper, they can have that.
You have to sign the right bit of paper.
Yeah, I know.
Is that pretty average?
Is that a pretty average price? Yeah.
It doesn't sound very high to me.
Well, you're just changing the ownership, aren't you?
Yeah, it takes about an hour and a half, because you have to go and work out which piece of paper it is, and then there could be a conversation as to what rights they've got to do it.
And it's
And
just
if
an
they can
admin
do it.
fee, yeah?
It is an
Yeah.
admin fee,
And
yeah.
it's just for now, it always can be changed. It can always be revisited, can't
Well,
it?
yeah, every year you
Yeah,
revisit
exactly.
your...
It's not going to be, not signing up forever, I suppose.
Okay, so do we all agree to charge £60 as administration fee for any change of ownership to the grave?
Okay.
Seems okay.
Okay, Fingerpost, Main Street and Dixter Road, to agree to accept the offer of Conservation Society to donate funds to the council for the refurbishment of 2 further Fingerposts. A further grant might be available from Highways.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thanks very much, Conservation
Yeah, it's
Society.
nice, isn't it? Yeah.
And the ones they've done are looking good.
Yeah, they look lovely. They look
Now
really
they've
Yeah,
got the
they
letters
do.
on, you know where you're going.
Yeah, they've done a good job there. Okay, everyone's happy with that. School crossing patrol. As we all know, the crossing patrol lady sadly passed down. She did pass down her mantle, but yeah, she stepped down. But we are...
Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, or the day before, there was an email saying there's someone else interested.
I noticed that on.
Yeah, and they want to know if you're still interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Of course we are, yeah.
No,
I'll
Well, I
I'll
think
tell
so.
them they're
Everybody else-
interested,
Yeah.
and then,
Yeah.
I think East Sussex.
and then if they feel the person's, if they'll interview the person, then we'll have to put it on the agenda to agree again. Okay?
Okay, thank you. Playground working group report. Councillors Fairbrass, Councillor Fenton, Councillor Sargent and Councillor Schlesinger. Pete, would you like to say anything on that?
New playground is sufficiently successful that parking in Main Street is now a nightmare in the summer holidays.
It's really busy actually, it's really popular,
Stupidly
isn't it?
busy.
Yeah, it's lovely.
But no, it's settling in slowly. I've put a couple of reports in since it went in. There's a little bit of cracking on a couple of the timbers,
It's already.
but you know, nothing dangerous.
I suppose it's expected though, isn't
Yeah.
it, settling?
So it's all good.
And I was told you was round there litter picking, Pete,
No, all
doing your
lies.
job.
All lies.
No, you was.
Okay.
Can I just ask on that, if I keep my voice, is there standard maintenance now on the new equipment? Is there a recommended package of standard maintenance?
What, from the actual providers
Yeah.
or such?
No.
No.
That wasn't part of the...
No, but is there a plan to have a standard maintenance programme?
What, for the whole play area?
Yeah.
I think is it a continuation of previously?
Well,
They
there's
should,
the-
they should be sending. I've seen an email somewhere along the line where they said when it was all all finished, they'd be sending us the package that showed the details of maintenance.
I'll have a look.
It was definite talk that that would come with the final handover.
That'd be worth
Because
looking into
most
actually,
other
'cause I
pieces,
didn't
most
see
other
that,
pieces
so.
of equipment that we've got the detailed
Could well be. I
instructions.
had quite, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure there probably is. I'll just say no, I'll have a look.
Are there any guarantees for it?
Yes.
Yes.
I've got those. That's what I remember is the guarantees, and it probably may well be in there.
Yeah.
I remember the guarantees.
Okay, thank you.
But it's
There we
checked fairly regularly.
Yeah, I mean, I was asking because obviously there's going to be additional cost with this.
Yeah.
And to meet the guarantee, we may need to do maintenance on it.
No, so the guarantee will never cover general wear and tear.
Mm.
It will only cover product failure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, so the fact that that there are visual checks of the play area is good for that. Shows that
But we do have a playground budget in the general budget.
which needs to be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
Thank you. On to Recreation Ground Working Group. Councillor Harding, Councillor Sargent, Councillor Schlesinger and Councillor Wayleave. Update and discussion of disabled access on the playing fields.
I've done nothing further about that because I've been a little busy over the last month.
Okay.
But I shall put something together at some point.
I think we need it, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Some access. Definitely. Okay, thank you. And Petanque Balls piece, background information. A resident has requested the parish councillor to consider permitting a Petanque Balls piece on the playing fields close to the entrance near the notice board. If the councillor are of the opinion that this would be acceptable, then they would cover the cost of the work. Having considered the idea to agree to permit the installation of courts, subject to liaising with the working group and clerk about exact location and safety measures.
Happy.
Yep.
I was just going to ask about, someone's already mentioned about the planning consent or potential planning consent for it to be done. And I wondered about the public liability insurance because it's going to become a village asset. I assume the village will be owning it.
Right.
Will the village own it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you'd have to have a license.
I'm giving it to the village.
Yeah.
But that would come under our general public
Will
liability.
will that increase the premium because it's an additional?
About
Not
Petanque.
particularly.
Hmm?
I'd be surprised.
play?
A little bit.
Okay.
It will be a
Okay,
little bit, but not
Jacqui
you.
plays, so she can give us some information.
Yeah, I'm a tank player. I've played for the county, and that's where I'm going tomorrow. If you play tank in a pub, when we used to run the league, you have to get the licensee to ask them to notify their insurer that there will be petanque played in their grounds.
That's in a pub.
Yeah. So
Well, that's probably the same for us. It
I
would
would
be.
imagine it would be the same.
So as long
So
as
it's
we
just
are
a
aware
question
it's
of
being
if you
played.
want to do it, speak to your insurers and they will advise. They've never charged the pubs anymore.
And do you bring your own balls? Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I imagine these balls being there and
No,
these
no.
random kids coming up and just
No.
No.
Very
Well, I know
special,
nothing about
very
it.
special steel balls. You have your own set.
in a little bag.
Yeah.
Oh.
We know what to get you for Christmas now.
I've got some.
Have you got some? Yeah. Do you play?
No.
Oh, okay. You're waiting for this.
I just wanted to point out that this writing of it, it says if the councillor have the option that this would be acceptable, then they would cover the cost. It sounds like the councillor
sorry,
covering
no.
the cost, and it isn't.
No, then the
Whatever.
the residents.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so
Thank you.
so what are we doing? We're agreeing, because again, having
Okay,
considered
start
the
off.
idea to agree to permit the installation.
Yeah.
So we're agreeing to have it installed.
But are you going to
Yeah.
say with the proviso
Subject,
of checking with Robert
Subject
as
to.
planning?
Okay, so is everyone in agreement that you would like to permit the installation, subject to all of the agreements that we need planning, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, does it have a cover of the tank piece? I don't remember seeing that. And is there any
animals urinate and stuff in it? Is it like a giant
Cat's
Yeah, no.
Is it sand or PBH?
It's grit, isn't it?
It's a sort of gritty stuff.
Like a granite grit or something.
Is it going to be a problem with animals in the park?
Well, I'm the playing field. Animals, dogs should be on the lead. However, I saw one today that was not on the lead.
Never on the lead.
Well, yes.
Well,
then-
not never, but
Yeah,
maybe
no.
quite a lot.
I hope not. I mean, I suppose you could put a cover on it, and you just take it off when you want to play.
Do they have covers, any of them?
Absolutely not.
No, exactly.
Absolutely not.
They're meant to be weathered.
Are they?
That's the whole point.
I know nothing about it. I can't. I'm not even
With
pretend
one
I do.
exception, I had an outdoor beast at the pub,
Oh, yeah.
and also had an indoor one for the winter.
Very grand.
It was. And went down very well, especially with the alcohol.
So you were doing a single one. Can you remind me what size that was?
Yes, it's well, I have to look. It's 12 metres by 3 metres
That's about
of a single one.
Yeah, okay.
But if you're having league matches, they quite often have 3 pieces next to each other, and I think that's when it becomes.
There's one down at Bexhill on the prom there. It's just open. It's just got sleepers round it. It's got that grit down. People just come along, play as and when.
Okay. Rob Woods and crowds.
Much like they do
Yes,
in
I have.
France.
All right. So is everyone in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Can we have Thank you. Obviously, Sue, please do not.
No, I haven't voted. Please notice not. I didn't put that.
Sue did not vote.
Yeah.
But not so. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I lost myself. Local Nature Recovery Working Group. Councillor Harding, Councillor Russell, Councillor Schlesinger and Councillor Wayleave. Could we have a report or an update? No report? Thank you.
Well, let's see. You got it? No, there's no report.
Okay, information and thought from councillors. Are you happy, Jacqui,
Can
that
I-
there's no report from yourself? Would you like to say something?
Can I just request something?
Yeah, of course,
if you don't
please.
mind? And maybe people would like to take that. Could we, would you be happy for the information from councillors to wait till the very last part of the meeting, please?
Yeah, okay. We're all right with that, aren't we?
Are you sure you might not get that? You might not get there.
We have 2.5 hours. That is our limit. So
We will get there.
we will.
Well, I would really like some time at the end, please, for a report from myself.
Okay.
It's not appropriate at this moment in time.
Okay. So can we do most of the information for councillors now?
So we'll do some, Carol, and then we will save
Anyone else
it.
feel the same as me? Do they want to wait?
Yes.
Or-
Yeah, quite happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay. So Councillor Wayleave has been booked into 2 sets of training, budgeting and finance for councillors.
And Jacqui also tried to attend some training as well recently and had a laptop issue,
Oh, I
which was a
got
shame.
a pop-up. My portal opened at 2016. I think that was about the time that the actual training session ended.
Oh dear.
But at least it came through.
Oh, there you go. You got it.
I got
You may have showed that you were attending. Bungalow Upgrade Group.
Yeah, so it was mentioned at the last meeting that, you know, to look ahead and the work that would be needed for the bungalow to start considering what needed to be done to the bungalow in order to comply with rental legislation that's coming in. And that would be part of budgeting for the future, not necessarily this year, next year, but there will be a time that it'll have to be done by. So I was just reminding everyone that you need to set up a group needs to be formed, or someone who feels appropriate, be happy to look into it.
Okay, thank you. And budgeting.
Budgeting, well, we're reminding everyone it's budgeting time. And that you start now, because if you're looking at your projects, they take a while to get some initial quotes. I also would like to add the council office phone. It is broken. You need a new one.
Marvellous. Okay, thank you.
I cannot hear the messages. It's so dark. somebody was obviously getting quite irate, and I just couldn't hear a single thing, but we did manage to get the number and ring back. And it's very intermittent. We think it's actually broken, which is why.
Oh, okay.
So you will need a new phone.
So that can go on to the items for next agenda then, can't it?
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, yeah, and next agenda.
Is there any other information from anyone that we would like to have now rather than later? No. Okay. Items for next agenda. Is there any that anyone would like to pop on there apart from Mary's telephone?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. Yeah, we hopefully won't be back.
Okay, date of next meeting is the 9th of October at 7 p.m. So, we are going to revert back then, if we may, to...
Remember you said you wanted to... Before you open, you wanted to...
This,
so,
yeah.
So,
okay, yeah. So, before I open, I am going to send something, which isn't like me to have a little list, but here we have it. It's with regard to the financial inquiry report. So, obviously, I just want to say thanks to Rob Woods for his measured report. I have read this report about 3 times, and every time I've read it, something different has popped up. But just to summarise my points. Firstly, there was no evidence of any guilty intent to defraud. That depleted funds were due to a mixture of inept management and council members potentially not listening to advice from staff. Rob also mentioned to me about the internal audit advice that was not listened to. So, to depleted reserves, they weren't a new thing. There'd been mismanagement of the council's finances since 2019, all the way back, and that while the RFOs are legally required to advise, all councillors, past and present, are ultimately responsible in law for that. Concern that the council did not undertake a proper business planning process or a review of the staffing skills after the acquisition of the Blue Cross, and we just carried on the same way, the council. There were examples where minutes confirmed basic legal procedures that weren't followed, including decisions to agree a precept before agreeing a budget, taking the reserve without taking reserves into consideration. Rob speculated that budgets were illegally built around the precept rather than the precept being defined by a prudent budget, and that was demonstrated in the internal auditor's report that was done in 2021. The council budgeted their spend higher than their precept. One thing that really did strike me was the example that he gave in 2020. It demonstrated that substantial unbudgeted expenses occurred, but the budget deficit was not made up the following year by an appropriate precept increase. The conclusion was nobody had a true handle on the finances, and as a whole, everyone was responsible for that. The section on ignoring the elephant in the room. It explained how better qualified locum staff from 2022 onwards warned the council on 2 occasions that their reserves were depleted and that action was needed. Rob actually said he felt that members had ignored the advice in 2022 and 2023. The Finance Committee did not alert the rest of the council members to Georgina Jackson and Julie Miller's advice. From what I can gather, Rob could find no evidence that the council agreed necessary documents attached to the loan application prior to it being sent off. These were the budget, an adopted report on the business case, and the rationale for agreeing the more expensive repayment option. Applications to the Public Works Loan Board were signed by Councillor Sargent and Clerk, Ray Harrington Lowe. Rob felt that this could constitute Councillor Sargent acting beyond his powers, but felt Pete should be given the opportunity to explain why this isn't the case, and I think that you need to have that opportunity to do that as well, Pete. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you feel about that. I don't know if you've put anything together as yet. Fabulous. Also, Rob could find no evidence that the council agreed to use rental income to cover part of the loan repayments, which he felt was a risky alternative to covering them totally by precept. There is no evidence on file that Pete discussed using income from the other sources with the government, but there is nothing recorded in the minutes that suggests council agreed to it and no risk assessment done to validate that decision. I wasn't sure what a business case for the Public Works Loan Board looks like, so I asked Rob to give me an example, and he sent me one from our sister town council as just a random example. I don't know if anyone had seen anything at the time or had agreed to anything at the time. I personally didn't see anything for that. And then just two other things I wasn't sure about. Firstly, Rob said that members had ignored internal audit advice as well as clerk's advice. So I asked him for the evidence, which he actually sent me. So he sent me a copy of the internal audit report. If anyone wishes to see that, then by all means have a chat with Mary. So we've got the one from 2021. Again, the last thing, I wasn't clear on what Rob was saying about the Kickstart funds, so I asked him to explain. He said he wasn't immediately sure if it was legal to use the excess Public Works Loan Board funds in the way that they did, or it was clear which reserve would be used to make up the funds to 17,000. It said it looked like Jacqui was trying to deal sympathetically with the CIC, and at the time, after being elected as chair, but he wasn't sure about the accuracy of advice that she had received from an unexperienced and unqualified clerk. Finally, in response to the questions that I know a lot of people have had about Rob's qualification, he has advised me and asked me to explain the following. His exact words: I am both qualified by exam and by experience, in addition to an honours degree in European Studies. During my 20 years in local government, I was professionally qualified Chartered Secretary, the local government equivalent then of a company secretary. The Chartered Institute changed its name since to the Chartered Governance Institute. The starting requirement for qualification was a higher national certificate in public administration, which I got way back in 1979, the year I was born. To give you an idea of the level that I was working at just before I left local government, I was on a shortlist for 3 of the assistant chief executive post at Liverpool City Council. Didn't get the job, but the worst part was I lost out to Lancastrian. My experience also includes not-for-profit organisations and charities. I have managed 2 not-for-profit companies. I've written the memorandum and articles for 2 not-for-profit organisations, Woodchurch Hub CIC and Love Hastings Business Improvement District. I chaired the first incarnation of the Woodchurch CIC for 5 years. Before my retirement, I was chair of Hastings Shop Mobility, which was a charity, and was a trustee of the Hastings Civic Social Society charity. In addition, I was a parish councillor from 2010 to 2017 and again from 2023. After my retirement, I was appointed as the first clerk in South Willsborough and Newtown Community Council in Ashford, which is an urban parish. So I have experience both as a councillor and as a clerk, as well as experience of managing and chairing CICs. So then on to... Thank you for everyone listening to my rambling. I think we are now going to pass over to...
sorry, instead of sort of... Nisha, I did ask you to sort of say, so we're going to let the public have their say.
Yes.
Then we'll close and let councillors have their say, or if they want to make any... So we don't have lots going on at the same time.
I'm quite happy to make a statement now.
Okay.
Do you want to do that now?
Do you want the councillors to do it first?
Well, it may help with what's going on.
Well, yes, okay, if you suggest that.
Yeah, no, okay.
Don't go too fast, I can't read.
You can have a printed copy.
That's very kind.
Right. Mr. Wood's report is very thorough, and I agree with him. There are many gaps in the documentary evidence as you go back towards 2017. Given the number of clerks the council's had in the last 5 years, I'm not at all surprised that the files and the emails are in disarray. At the end of his report, Mr. Woods suggested that I should be given an opportunity to explain to council various actions I've taken over the years. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to do this at the present time because Rother District Council's monitoring officer is currently investigating a code of conduct complaint about me that was instigated by and and so anything I say might well prejudice the outcome of this. What I can reveal is that is accusing me of bringing the council to its knees and that I have defrauded the village. Complaints consist mainly of character assassination and constant references to horses. Just over 4 years ago, I stepped down from the council following a vindictive personal campaign against me by me. I returned to the council after the May 2023 election, when residents were given the chance to decide who they wished to represent them and, more importantly, who they did not. It seems that certain ex-councillors who missed the cut struggled with the concept of the democratic process, as within a few weeks of the new council being in place, harassment started once again, this time led by He is a very angry man. He hates me. He hates most of the current councillors. He hates the clerks. He hates the village hall. He hates the Bonfire Society. He hates the CIC. He hates the parish magazine editor. In fact, I think there are very few people in this village who he likes at all, and certainly not that many who like him. I genuinely think he needs help. However, as we all know, he's just a stooge, doing her bidding while she sits at home, hiding behind her keyboard, pouring bile and venom into her nasty little website. I've got a distinct feeling of deja vu from 4 years ago. Yet again, a vindictive campaign is being waged against me, this time with the added joy of social media. As a councillor, I've always tried to do what I considered was best for the village, but apparently this has not been good enough. The game is no longer worth the candle, and the interrogations and constant harassment are making my partner unwell, which I will not tolerate. Therefore, Madam Chair, I am tendering my resignation from the council as of this moment. I can only wish you good luck in the future. I can only wish you good luck in the future, although I fear that nothing much will change until Ms. gets her hands on the stables. Thank you.
I would like to now table my council report. If that's okay with everybody? Of course. Okay. This council has enjoyed relentless criticism by a few members of the public, mainly ex-councillors who were not re-elected by this village in May 2023. Whilst this criticism mainly stemmed from social media posts, there have been numerous complaints made to the monitoring officers at Rotherham District Council, none of which have been upheld, plus persistent allegations to our external auditors costing residents in excess of £15,000 to date. The CIC have also undergone constant criticism, which has in turn obstructed their plans to make headway. All of this has been extremely unpleasant and frustrating, preventing us from moving forward with the exciting plans we had hoped to achieve for the future of Northiam. There has been a constant vendetta against selective current councillors, with the proviso of getting them to stand down, and in turn give those ex-councillors the opportunity to take back control. It is disgusting that Peter's had to endure such high levels of criticism and abuse, even though he received the most votes at the election from our residents and is the most proactive councillor. Whilst my intention has always been to listen to constructive criticism and work with the community, these relentless accusations of good people and negativity of our plans has led to an untenable environment for me to actually want to continue as a councillor. However, I need to say that those ex-councillors are not as honest as they try to portray themselves. I have here, right, the original minutes from the November 22 meeting, which were tabled by the then clerk, Jacqui Harding, who promptly left due to intimidation. These minutes were later tampered with and reduced from 5 pages down to 1.5, omitting comments and concerns that were raised by members of the public at that meeting. Those comments were obviously deemed unfavourable, so selectively removed. This is totally unprofessional and undermines the credibility of that meeting. Those doctored November 22 minutes were then not signed off until February 23. The minutes of that February meeting can be viewed on the council website and shows that who the councillors were in place at that time. There are also these emails here to the new locum clerk in December 22 from a then councillor asking for a confidential meeting with that councillor and only 3 other selective councillors, deliberately excluding Tony Wadey, Tony Biggs, Anthony Wanton-Smith and Bob Russell, who were also serving councillors at that time, which again is unprofessional. So I say to those ex-councillors that your wish may finally be coming to fruition, albeit from a total lack of decency and disregard for the election vote of this village. Chair, please accept this as my resignation, and I ask for its contents to be included with the minutes of this meeting. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Can I just say something? Go on, I mind too.
Yeah.
I'm loath to resign as I'm looking forward to the various projects that the council have in store, provided the survey results are positive. Contrary to popular belief, the sports pavilion would not cost the council $750k, as suggested on Facebook. It would only be built if grants or sponsors are founded. So, at least get your facts correct. The amount of mendacious comments on Facebook suggesting that I should never be allowed to stand again and I should stand down from the Village Hall Trust are offensive, to say the least. But as a councillor, I'm not permitted to respond on social media. When I was re-elected in 2023, the new council was looking forward to being able to contribute to the village. The only thing that we've managed in 2.5 years is the playground improvement, which is extremely frustrating. The incessant griping on Facebook has put paid to much of our efforts and cost the village a considerable amount of money. However, after some thought, I've decided that my time would be better spent outside the council, contributing to village life without being hounded by people on Facebook who, as far as I know, spend little or no time in actually doing anything in the village. They allegedly do not belong to the countless village societies, such as the horticultural and conservation societies or helping hands. They don't volunteer for litter picking, speed watch, never appear at a coffee morning, don't help with a jumble sale, haven't offered any help to the panto, and God forbid that they should ever belong to the Bonfire Society. I'm sadly saying goodbye to my colleagues on the council, and I'm looking forward to reading a book now, rather than the endless council papers and no evening meters, which will be somewhat of a relief. So I'm afraid I'm also giving you my resignation. I've enjoyed being vice chair to you, but I can't cope with the irritation and everything online.
No.
So I'm also here.
Yeah. Okay, so wait a minute. Come sit down a minute. Please come sit down a minute. Please just come sit down a minute. Yes, mine. Okay, there you go. Right. Sorry, Michelle.
For me, this is just rough, but I'd hoped that as a member of this council that we go forward and actually achieve something positive in our community, leaving behind the toxic, corrosive atmosphere of the previous administration, which generated so much spite, malice and mistrust and personal antagonism, leading to complete stagnation. Although any change is always painfully slow in council matters, I felt that we were making a difference and that the future was bright. I can add little to what's already been said by my colleagues, but I would say, in my opinion, that the way in which the report carried out by Rob Woods was put out into the public domain by virtue of the parish council's website, without giving councillors an opportunity to review prior to publication, and perhaps more importantly, that without council consultation, was both unprofessional and wholly unacceptable. And at that time, I felt at this time that, in particular, the councillor named in the report should have been given the courtesy of a hearing by council before addressing the council meeting, as normal procedure would allow. Subsequent emails from councillors in regard to the publication of this report have remained without response from either the chair or the clerk, and given the report's contents, which was bound to generate a good deal of speculation, if not criticism and censure, leadership was noticeably absent. As a result, I regret to say that I have lost confidence in the chair and the clerk, and that being a councillor would be a total and utter waste of time, given me about the mendacious, mindless propaganda generated through social media. and that the residents will have lost all confidence in this council. And it is therefore with a very heavy heart that I submit my resignation to be effective immediately. And I will put that and give it to you without my scribble on it.
Got this down.
Go there. Let's go.
Yes, ladies, thank you for everything that you have done up until now within the council.
Well, I wish we could have done more together.
Absolutely.
But it's very
Apologies that
disheartening
the,
that people that have done absolutely nothing but right and tell lies on social media in order to grab the narrative and look clever. It's still on, get social media and ruin everything.
Let's not even work on it.
So I should be saying goodbye.
okay, over to...
Well, we opening to the public.
So, okay, we are now opening to the public. Apologies that Jacqui has had her hand up first. And then I saw your hand, Sharon, and then I saw you, Ben. So, fire away.
I just want to understand how you've swapped the meeting around without opening it and closing it, and it wasn't on the agenda. There was going to be public questions at the end.
Because as a chair, when it comes to a meeting, it's an automatic right that the chair has to move items around in the meeting so that the meeting can run, and that can include, you can open and close the meeting in between. So when Michelle says to you, Jacqui has something, she's effectively saying, I'm going to reopen. No. But if I minute everything, it gets a bit, so yes.
It's normally much more formal.
I just want to explain my train of thought here, Jacqui. The reason I've done it that way is because I know that the financial investigation is a big deal. So I know that a lot of people are going to want to ask a lot of things. If I were to do it in the order in which it comes on the agenda, I can guarantee that no one would have got to ask any questions because we would have dealt with parish council business first. I felt that it was only fair for me to split it so everyone could have a chance to have a question.
Thank you, but I didn't think procedurally it was done correctly. But clearly it is, because Chair has the option to not procedurally close a meeting and then reopen it.
Yeah, no, so basically...
So earlier when I said to you, Jacqui's done that effectively to Mary is me closing the meeting because I'm speaking to a member of the public.
Yeah.
And am I right?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So, Sharon. Hello. Good evening.
I came with a few questions this evening, and obviously we've just all seen 4 councillors resign, and I think it's very sad, but having a few things to do with council myself, I can tell you that it runs through several councils where this, stuff that people are unhappy about makes its way onto social media, and sadly, or otherwise, that's how things go today. Things happen and they get straight onto social media, and then there's a bun fight, there's splits in council, the little groups here and little groups there, and it's not a very nice environment. I've been following this council for about 3.5 years, and when I first came here, I could sense that there was lots of angst going on. I don't sense that now. I can see this is the tattery end of something that's been going on, and obviously it's not very nice for any of you. One of my questions was to actually ask the councillors what their views were on the report, but we're getting shorter and shorter on councillors. I was frightened we'd reach here and we wouldn't have any anyway. So one of my questions was, how many councillors were interviewed by Mr. Rob Woods?
Oh gosh.
1, 2, 3,
Jacqui.
Current councillors?
5.
Oh, all of us.
I think Sue wasn't. So the only ones who weren't was
Sue not?
Was Carol?
I think Sue was.
oh yes, Sue
You
was.
were not,
Sorry.
were you?
It was
John
John
was
Fenton.
not. So all but John.
All but John.
Thank you. And also to ask what the other councillors think about the report. I don't know whether you want to answer that or whether you want to say, well, I'm going to answer you or you're going to tell the clerk. But I just think it's interesting. 4 people have just had their say. And if I didn't ask that, you might just skip over that. We may never know. But anyway, it's something to think about.
Well, I'd just like to say that it was a very good report.
Sorry?
I would just like to say it was a good report.
A good report.
Well thought out and well presented.
Okay. My next question and last question was, how long was Councillor Sargent the chair? Because I don't know the answer to that, but as an experienced chair, he should know better than to take decisions without the say-so of the other councillors. And that seems to have been a thing somewhere along there. So thank you very much for hearing my questions. I'm really sorry to see what's happened here tonight, but I think you can go forward and repair this because you've got to that stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben?
Yeah, I would like to know who it was that questioned the suitability of Rob Woods, please, because I found him to be an absolute professional throughout the time that I spent with him, which was about 2 hours. And I found that he asked all the right questions and he listened very attentively, and I found that his end report was extremely good. So I just wondered why you had the need to go to him to justify his commission.
So
I don't think you can say that.
I can't. No, I can't. I can't. I'm not going to give. I'm not going to give individual names. There was questioning. There was speculation around the potential.
His suitability.
Yeah, the suitability. So therefore, I needed to clarify with him what his qualifications were, and not only that, Ben. Everyone needs to know anyway, so that if there is any question anywhere, everyone knows.
But did it come from the public?
I'm not answering your question, Ben, I'm sorry.
I'll imply the answer.
I'm sorry, I'm not. Okay, is there any other questions? John, hello.
I'm amazed that the statements, I mean, I had to go to the police. My chance now. You just had 4 months to say those things. We were you're talking about social media, we were branding horse killers. Previous councillors were briefing on Saturday, untrue things. This idea of that we were bullies is ridiculous. The police insisted I would get in security before I could come to a meeting. It got that bad. This issue of I've conducted this campaign against Mr. Sargent, that is ridiculous. I have reacted to Mr. Sargent's behaviour throughout this period. And the facts speak for themselves. The article by David Henk. You see, this is constant. This is what used to happen. We had a meeting of over 200 people here, where we were surrounded and they were yelling and screaming, and we were left covered in spit. It was horrible. It was coming to meetings here. You needed the pressure on people to come to meetings and try and stand up for what was right for the village was incredible, and it went on for years. And these statements, this rewriting of history, all I can say is if you read the David Henk article, he is an award-winning journalist. and he said he had never known a story that was so well evidenced with written evidence. He didn't know me from anyone. He has no interest in if I was conducting some alleged personal campaign. He's a professional, he would never do that. He just looked at the facts.
I know, John, with the greatest respect, this session is not about that article, it is about our investigation, which we have done and which has... I appreciate that, but...
I'll find out, just to say that history seems to be very, very different as to what actually happened.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? Ben, hello.
Yes, so I believe the report's quite clear that there has been wrongdoing before,
yes.
And it particularly identifies Mr. Sargent, who has not taken the opportunity to explain it and instead walked away. That's his prerogative. There's nothing to stop him coming back though and doing it again in a couple of years' time. We've seen that happen before. He willingly and openly lied to us in his statement, saying that he left in the first place because he was bullied and intimidated, when he actually left because of his personal circumstances in relation to the death of relatives of his and him having to vacate the village. That's what he actually left the council for. He has overseen the actions that have led to each one of us as council taxpayers paying £20,000 a year more for this loan repayment that we didn't need to, because he took autonomous actions, because he thought he knew best. And it's the same when Sue Schlesinger was chair. She thought she knew best, and she ended up making a mess of that as well. Because the whole point of a council, the whole point of having a body of people, is that you come to a conclusion together. You don't form little gangs, you're supposed to think independently. And the fact that all these people left together with their same rhetoric is indicative of their mentality. They are not serving the people. They do not respect the council. They do not respect the position. It's good that they have gone, and hopefully we can get some more people, independent people, who come in and do a far better job.
Thank you, Ben.
The thing is, if procedures had been closer, there would have been more people together leading it, and
Quite.
some of these things that have gone awry would hopefully have been caught.
And this is the point of the investigation, is
It's
that it is
procedures, the
highlighting
issue.
that there is a lot of procedures that have potentially not been followed. So,
And
hello,
they're there
Miss
to help, really.
Briggs.
That's the thing.
Thank you, Ben. Hello.
Thank you. Just for the record, for the minutes and for Mr. Dallymore's recording, these questions are being asked by a parishioner, not a councillor.
Oh, right, yes, fair enough. Thank you.
It's nice that Mr. Dalloway had 2 hours with Rob, because we wasn't allowed that. We had someone behind us 45 minutes and we was out the door. So Ben was very lucky to have that. Regarding the little clink of these people, I think it's been proved that the secret memo councils with Georgina Jackson and certain councillors, which is not us three, but other councillors, so that contradicts what Ben said there. You've had your turn.
Excuse me, chaps. Thank you. Tony, Ben, please, Ben. I will just have to call it into this if this is how it
It's
gets.
Andy's turn, that's my turn.
Thank you.
So basically, with the report, it was a good report, but I'm astounded that 3 of the most important people were not asked to come and give their views. RFO and Clark, Deborah Upton. RFO and Clark, Ginny Lowe. RFO and Clark, Nicola Addison. These people had their purse strings of the council. Can someone tell me, one, why they was never asked to be interviewed? Secondly, ex-councillors Rob Maltby, Debbie Pratt, Anthony Wanton-Smith never asked to come for their interviews. Other ex-councillors were. Thirdly, in the report, Rob says, and I've got nothing against Rob, independence. I confirm that I'm independent from the management and other operations of the Northern Parish Council. I have no conflict of interest. If I've got this wrong, I apologise. I believe Rob is a councillor, parish councillor at Woodchurch.
Yes, but we did tell you.
As a parish councillor, you are the employer of the clerk. Therefore, Rob is one of the employers of the clerk of Woodchurch.
Rubbish. Rubbish, the council
Ben,
employees.
thank you, Ben.
Unfortunately, Ian is the clerk. So therefore, I would say there's a conflict of interest. It's just my point of view. And lastly, I don't understand why Rob put down, I'm aware that MPC and specific members of members are of it and are currently subject to investigation. Why that's going to report, I don't know. Now, if that, what he's saying is currently refers to a member councillor being investigated by Rother, as you know, I pointed out in July to the peer review, that should not be brought into the public domain.
I've got a response to that. I spoke to the monitoring officer about that, and it isn't in confidence.
Sorry?
I spoke to the monitoring officer about that, and it isn't in confidence. If the people either side start talking about it, they are quite able to go and speak to their
Well, I've
their
got an email
friends.
contradictory to that.
But I could I have a copy of your email, please?
You can, definitely. I'll give it to you tomorrow.
Lovely.
So there's just things I don't see why he done anything. But so the reason, two reasons. The first two options is why did Rob ask the three RFOs if they was come to the interview? Bearing in mind, they are the three people that would more than likely be able to answer some of the questions that Rob couldn't get the answers to.
Well, Nikki Eisen, I don't know where she is. I looked around to see if
It's a phone call.
Well, I don't have a number.
And all three of them said to me, we've never been asked. It's a phone call. Someone only had to ask.
Have you spoken to all three of them since?
Yes. None of them have ever been asked to come to an interview. And I find that astonishing. If this is an interview into Northiam's finances over the last 6 years, why any of them three was not asked to come to an interview.
Okay. No, I don't
Did you
know.
get
I
hold
mean,
of Nikki, by the way?
Sorry?
Did you get hold of Nikki?
Yes, and she's never been asked to come for an interview. Neither is Julie Lowe.
What, she destroyed her records?
Sorry?
She destroyed her records.
She's never been asked to come to an interview.
Well, I don't know where she lives. Don't know
You
what
got
her
a
number
phone
is. No.
Well, he should ask for it, shouldn't he?
But I haven't got it.
You've only got to ask.
Anyhow, Julie wasn't needed because that internal, well, this is only my thoughts. The internal auditor's report in November is Julie Lowe organised Mulberry to come. So you've got the response already there in the internal auditor.
She wasn't just there, she was a clerk. And Deborah Upton was a clerk. They're financial officers. Therefore, surely, if you're doing a financial investigation, you ask the clerk, who's the financial officer, for their input into the investigation.
I
Surely
can
that's the
understand.
thing.
Yeah, but Nikki did say that the reserves, it's in the minutes
Was she
already.
asked for an interview?
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Thank you.
But
Well,
noted.
You're doing an organisation,
Thank you,
surely.
Tony.
I was just going to say in response to that, now they've left and they're out of it and there's an investigation, do you believe they would come back if they were asked?
Well, yes.
You
They're
sure
not
about
they're
that?
asked, they've only got to be asked. So I'm not saying the investigation wasn't carried out correctly. All I'm saying is that them three people, three very, very important people who looked after Northiam's finances should have been given the opportunity.
Julie Lowe won't come back because she's living in completely
Somerset
different
she
parts
is.
of the
I know
country.
she is.
Yeah, and she's got a lovely, nice job, hasn't
Phone
she? In a
You can
bigger
do it-
authority.
Mary, you can do it over the phone.
I don't know her number.
No, I'm just saying, all I'm trying to make the point is, I just feel that they should have been given the opportunity considering their role.
Charles, do you think if those three were, it would have made a big difference to the outcome of the actual
I don't
report?
know. It depends what questions they was asked, Tony, wouldn't it?
Well, one would assume it's the same question
Yeah,
they
no.
asked.
So the thing is, the questions they was asked. As I said, I was only given 3/4 of an hour. Other people were given 2 hours.
I was 3.
Are you okay?
Me and Jacqui were 3 hours.
Are you okay?
Can I add, so it's not about personalities, which has been covered.
Yeah, let's keep that out.
In my first period as a councillor, before the Blue Cross was bought, and it was being mooted as a proposal and there were lots of exhibitions, public meetings, it was repeated over and over that the precept would only fund 50,000 and that the rest would come from the site itself. It should be in several minutes.
But it's not though. That's the whole point of his report.
Well,
It didn't say that anywhere.
I'm surprised to hear that, and I will endeavour to find. It was absolutely accepted I think there may even be a council resolution about it, but I will look into that. It was fully accepted, and that's why Rob only ever released 50 grand.
Thank you.
And it was always accepted that was the principle. And that's the whole point of the freedom of information information that came to light, that the whole amount could be set against the precept if necessary. That was complete news to us, and it was 7 years later. We always understood that the agreement had been that it was, and I was a councillor, that it was 50 grand from the precept, and that was sacrosanct. It could not. There's statements by Cllr Sargent saying exactly that. So.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Jacqui.
Can I ask one final question, and then can I excuse myself because I've got a long day tomorrow?
Yes.
You read out Rob's history.
Yes.
Is he legally trained? Was he trained ever legally? Please.
So part of the qualification is legal.
In what way?
Just because it'll be to do with it's just like the clerk, the Cllr qualification has a large module to do with the legal side of it.
Right.
So if you went and took a solicitor, Funnell and Perry, and used him to deal in parish council world, he wouldn't have a clue. That's why you don't go to commercial solicitors when you're a parish council. You go to solicitors that are very specifically niche. That's why there's only 3, and they're always Surrey Hills, Wellers Headley, what's the other one? And then there's Harrington's. If you use anyone else, they won't have a clue. And that's why some of the things here in this council has not been helped by the fact that commercial solicitors have been used, and they haven't known about the funny place that the parish council world sits. I mean, there's a big book this side, you might have seen people bring it to the council. So he would be far more appropriate, as he would have been studying those things, than going to another lawyer, solicitor. They wouldn't know.
But he's not legally trained.
He doesn't have a law
degree. But I haven't said that.
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying. Does he have a law degree? And you're saying no.
No, we're not saying that at all.
No,
we're saying he's appropriately qualified for the governance of a parish council. That's what he is.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to ask anything? No? Okay. Where are we? So,
excuse me, I had a long day.
Bye, Jacqui.
Good luck.
So, shall I move on to this?
Yes.
So, external audit. We're closing the meeting on the public session.
Yes, I wrote that one down.
Thank you. Okay, so on to external auditors report then. So the external audit report is as follows. The parish council will be looking to deal with the issues raised. Do you want me to read all of this?
No. Right, so... Actually,
I thought we'd finished then.
No, you haven't. And we have to answer this question because the external auditor is expecting a response. Okay. Otherwise, she will be invoking her statutory powers with regard to Northern Parish Council. Okay. So, unfortunately. So, section 1.
Assertion 1 has not been correctly answered as there were no budget monitoring or management of reserves during the year. Assertion 1 should have been answered no instead of yes. This is consistent with the internal auditor's response to internal control objective D. We note that the Council's general reserves level has not been adequate in recent years and that the Council has been using its earmarked reserves to fund general expenditure. The Council must decide whether or not to reinstate these earmarked reserves to their 2020 levels. We note that the Council accepted it has not correctly managed reserves nor carried out adequate budget monitoring during the year and therefore should have responded in the negative.
So, we note the Council's agreed to commission an investigation. It was unanimous result, so it's copied that in. So one point is we have to respond how we're going to deal with going forward and monitoring the council spending better and not forgetting our earmarked reserves in whatever fashion that is, and also to whether you're going to reinstate the SFF reserve, as it was called. So, did you agree with the conclusion that basically the SFS funds, which were unrestricted, unlike the community levies, the cemetery fund, and what's the other one?
Cemetery.
Sewer. Sorry, and the sewer, they are restricted, they cannot be spent for anything else. So the only fund that was available to spend to cover the overspending over the years was the St Francis Field. And basically it has been used to cover a lot. It has been used to cover some things. Do you feel that it is a wise decision to reinstate that, bearing in mind the Council's current position? Or are you going to accept that, as Rob says, that it has been spent and it would not necessarily be the best idea to reinstate it if you are actually going to work on a budget that goes from the base up rather than a blanket precept increase? Because what you're supposed to do, you are already doing that, it's just it needs to be done for many years to fine-hone it, which is one of the reasons why it's difficult to go into accrual, because until you've done it for several years, you're not going to get it right and you're always going to be wrong. It's a much simpler step, and in a few years' time, you might be able to go to the accrual system. It may be forced upon you if your budgeting therefore results in a precept that's got to be over a certain level. You have to automatically go to accrual, which will be very difficult because you've got to go back 2 years. And the previous year's finances, with the scribe being half inscribed and half not inscribed, that isn't going to be particularly easy. So what are I would recommend that you might need to take some time to think about it, but the question is, are you going to reinstate the SFF fund? Do you need more time to read through the report to consider that?
I need more time for consideration on that. I don't know about anybody else.
What benefit is there either way? Is there any benefit?
Well, it's been quite a meeting. I think you might need to read it again, think about it. I mean, I kind of feel that you only have £4,000 at the end of last year, after your restricted earmark reserves. We put quite a lot on onto the budget to add something into the reserves, general emergency reserves this year, and they unfortunately are whittled down by about they will be about 20,000 shorter than they should be by the end of the year. Possibly because of course there is a lot that's budgeted. And there hasn't been the spending on the trees, though we need it, but the business of trying to get 3 quotes is taking rather a long time. And the fact that you have a conservation area, I thought one set of trees I was getting quotes where we're in a conservation area, and I looked again when they weren't. So we may not spend all of the money that has been budgeted, and what happens at the end of the year, the spare unspent budget money goes back into the main pot, and you look at that and you say, this is what our reserves should be. We have extra. So this is what we think we need to spend on looking after the properties in Northiam. You have to realise with all of this chaos, there is a lot of management that has been not looked after, and Pete has been pushing for that. Actually, when he talked about the play area fence, that is falling down. The fence at the entrance to the recreation ground, that is falling down. The fence along Harlots Wood, that is on the ground. And actually, you can't see it. There is a lot of expenditure. There are trees on Badger's set. We started to look at budgeting. Yep. There is a lot of expenditure that's needed. So I think it would be a great shock to the public and the people who are paying if that is put on. Well, it's planned to consider doing it over 3 years or so, and then you add another 54,000 or whatever you think it is left for the St Francis Field. It might be better to decide you're going to have a clean start, bearing in mind there are some things. I mean, a tree costs £1,200 to take down. I can name 6 trees without having to think about any more. Just on, there's 6 on Harlots Wood, there's 1 on Beaconsfield, there's a couple in Badger's Run. All these trees need to be taken down because they present a risk of falling onto other properties. Thankfully, we are in situations that I don't have to immediately panic, but at some point they need to be removed. Unfortunately, it costs money because they're in difficult places and you have to use climbing equipment to deal with these. Very few are just in a place where you can just go chop and let it fall, which is particularly the one in Beaconsfield. It's right next to the cables. That might even require the electricity to be taken off. So it's going to take a while. So I'd like you all to think about what you think is sensible.
What did you say?
I think you should take a month to consider what you think is sensible, because you're going to have to refill the reserves, possibly, hopefully not as much as 20,000, because there will be some money that hasn't been spent. Okay. But there'll be some for that. There'll be greater expenditure, hopefully, to manage some of the properties. St Francis Field budgeting is coming along, so that shouldn't be. There probably needs to be a little bit more, to be honest, because there's lots of fences on the St Francis Field property that always told that needs to be looked after. So that needs to be included. Their budget needs to be increased. And so if you're going to add 54,000 on to rebuild the St Francis Field Reserve, which wasn't restricted, that's quite something to do. And what's the point of it in the end? If you are, the survey may actually indicate a way forward with what to do with that, really. It may tell you that people are happy to have that precepted. It may not tell you that they're not, that they want the commercial aspect of the St Francis. It may say they don't want a commercial aspect of the St Francis. Obviously, it's an indication for councillors. So the first issue is to consider. I mean, you can respond that you're already, as has been advised, you're already working on a budget. And there has been more regular financial reports, which was seriously lacking last year.
Okay.
And I'm not really sure, anyhow, let alone for that. So,
right.
Now you have the next one in number 2. The issue to deal with is the fact that the council has balances in excess of 100,000, and so therefore you had to have an investment policy, which you did agree, which was brought in as a result of the internal audit report of December. I can never remember the year. 21. In actual fact, it was the internal auditor that provided the policy that was used by Northiam Parish Council. And so at the moment, that policy says that you have to have 60,000 in your reserves. I actually think, my personal opinion, that is an excessively large amount when, at the moment, if you are having to take all of the loan payments for St Francis Field in your precept, there is no requirement to double up the 34,000. I don't agree with with our current internal auditor, as lovely as she is, in that she is concerned that, with the change of a unitary authority coming in, there may be a delay in the money coming forward. I think you might have to, I think that personally, better reserve amount is
We need to keep something in the pot,
50,
don't we?
yes, 50,000. I think that would be a better amount, or 40,000. So you would need to actually address that policy again by the end of the year and reset it.
Right.
So, you know, so the answer will be you'd be considering resetting the limits for the, what's this thing called? Your investment strategy. Oh no, it's not an investment strategy, it's the, yes, annual investment strategy. Always confuses me because it's such a large word. I would just think of it as, you know, how much you need to have in, especially as you've got so much money.
Okay.
So that's A, 2A, 2B, or not. We are addressing 2B as, which was probably the reason why Clark in the previously moved money around, although we would love to have it that this bank account stands for everything to do with St Francis Field, and we might still be able to do that, but I don't, you know, we're not allowed to. We can only have 85,000 in each bank account. So that we are addressing that now. So the response is that you've just addressed it.
Yeah, we're addressed it.
3A.
The A goal was not accurately completed for submission for review.
Yes, this has been corrected for the 24. You agreed that recently. 2024 to 25 year has been corrected.
Yeah.
B is
Section 2, box 4 incorrectly.
staff. This has been corrected.
And C is incorrect. The March payments for the Public Works Loan Board were not taken by direct debit until the 2nd of April.
Yes, well, that's not really the council's fault. That's a banking issue. But the AGO has been corrected. And so there's a general comment that you should possibly make about these things, is that, you know, that the financial report should be providing you with an indication of what to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
The financial reports, which you haven't really had a lot of.
Okay. So
should be providing an indication of at the end of the year, will you have enough money? Is there a right amount of money? It was being done, but not being done in a discussed, more formal way and minuted that you were doing that. Whereas I am aware it must have been done, otherwise you wouldn't have been able to pay the loan because it comes out automatically. I'm aware it is done, but it's not being minuted. So it needs to be minuted to demonstrate for your own safety, councillors, that you are doing it.
okay. Next, the smaller authority has confirmed that it's not complied with the governance assertions in section 1, boxes 2, 4, 5 and 7 and 8, but it has provided the appointed auditor with an adequate explanation for non-compliance and details of the actions necessary to address weaknesses identified.
So we just note that.
2, in the completion of the annual internal audit report and their detailed report, the internal auditor has drawn attention to significant weaknesses in relation to internal control objectives C, D, I, M and N. The smaller authority must ensure that action is taken to address these areas of weakness in a timely manner.
So this will also be, again, so internal control is the issue that they are looking at, and that's all about financial reports, regular financial reports. It's about double signing of the, it's all of those things. Everything that you do in your financial section is really about internal control. Getting your 3 quotes to make sure that you're getting your best value for money, and seeing the invoices coming and going, making, it's quite a lot actually. Sue was kindly going to go and attend an internal control seminar, but then it got cancelled.
Oh, right.
It's a whole thing that you probably could do with so when you get your, you could.
Yeah.
So in actual fact, training, although you've had training already, and you've had training, councillors have had training almost every year on the basic, I think really
refresher.
Not necessarily refresher, but specifically for finance and internal control.
Yeah.
And actually your risk assessment policy, or your assessment that you do, they're now encouraging councils to have quite a statement, and the statement that is provided by NALC and the Clerks Association actually gives councillors a steer as to what is the point, why you do it, and that could be added there as a reminder. And also internal control. I have another thing for internal control which you agree at your AGAR, which basically runs out again at the time when you're thinking of your risk assessment and you're thinking of your AGAR, what is involved, and it helps councillors to understand, have you done this step, have you done that step, what's the point in the independence of the internal auditor, how it can't be somebody, anyone who knows, the point of the external audit and how you react to it. That is internal.
It's a motorbike.
Oh.
The guy who just left is on a motorbike.
Oh, okay. So that's all about internal control. So we can bring in a few more procedures to help with that.
Okay.
An explanation for councillors.
Okay, and then we received challenge correspondence in relation to 23-24 AGAR, which was considered before completing our work. The authority will receive an invoice in relation to additional works.
And you have just actually agreed to pay it, haven't you?
The invoice from PKF Little John LLP is 15,157.80, including VAT 2,000.
Shall I sit on your other side, dear? Okay, right. We have just agreed to pay PKF. Yes. Okay.
Okay, and that's it.
Yes, but the first question, it is a lady, will be very keen to read the minutes, so I'll have to say that we will be considering it, and that at our next meeting, ordinary meeting, we'll be considering it in more detail, because it's a lot. I wasn't really sure what she was actually expecting as well.
Okay.
And I still don't know if that will be enough to actually make the external auditor feel that she doesn't have to invoke her statutory powers.
Well, we have to do our best.
Wow. Yes. Yeah. Including going to the Secretary of State. You'll be there.
And that is all for this evening. That is us closing our meeting. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming along.